that I have to wonder what's going on.
Well, I'm live again.
Oh, you're fine.
Yes, we are now live, and we're seeing how many people follow Uber. Okay. And Captain Jesse always there. The one person I can always shock when it says Captain Jesse's. Let's see how big of a crowd we can get here, though. Yeah, doing okay. Spent the day doing it, so finally got the video up. Job search is not really doing much, but today was just like, get this damn video done. I'm tired of fighting the computer. In fact, I think I broke the enter key slightly. I'll worry about the jobs on Monday, but it's raining like hell out here, frankly. It's fine now, but early coming down buckets. Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Although this, that's what this channel is, making my own job. But that's not gonna get the homeowner for it. Just for yourself to do something on the side. Sewing, that wouldn't work in our current situation. Now at this point, it's this thing's probably going to get a copyright when it goes in the archive here. But for now, anyone wants to try and contribute anything, links are down below. The old PayPal and Patreon and all that stuff. They did get good reactions from the "Thanks a lot, Alex" shirt from the people there who knew Alec Peters and don't like Alec Peters. Have all kinds of stories about Alec Peters about why he's such an idiot.
Didn't you wear that one when we were at the screen?
No, I was still in the Klingon rollerball game.
Okay.
The screening was the Friday night, or Saturday night.
Yeah.
And I wore the Thanks a lot, Alex shirt on Sunday.
John the Hudson.
Fortnite, I get 10 million subs. Thank you. Johnson, better non-board. I don't know. I think it's just, unfortunately, I'm not really trained for anything that marketable. Now, the bulk of my training is in broadcasting. That's a tough field, even at the best of times. So, that's one thing about YouTube. You see a lot of frustrated broadcasters around here. Like, can't get a regular radio gig or TV gig? Guess what? I'll do it myself, you creeps. I'm hoping most of this music is old enough to be public domain, so it won't get me. So, because I got that's it for the tea. I suppose we could talk a little bit about the latest news. That they're going to try and do a Star Trek cartoon. Not the animated series, a cartoon. And all the nonsense it implies. Good Discovery. I'm not sure they came out. No, Discovery's beyond salvaging. It's just too screwed up. Tellurite? Yeah. The Tellurites, they got more warthogs. It's like, where'd the tusks come from? No, they said they're going to do a little half-hour Star Trek comedy cartoon. I'm seriously thinking I'm working up a pitch from my idea I've been playing around with. And it sounds subversive enough to sneak right on by it. And yet they'd be being subverted because I get in there and start doing the real stuff. I make a point of hiring actual Star Trek writers and try and keep Kurtzman at bay as much as possible. Because unfortunately, he would be the boss, but keep all of his idiots out of there. Bring in Ron Moore and Brandon Braga, and all the ones who know how to write Star Trek. And just wait for the time when the non-compete clause winds up, and then smack them upside the head, saying, "All right, that's it. We're taking back the franchise right now." And it'd be the crappiest ship in the fleet that would do it too. That'd be the real thing. Yeah, it's all desperation. Because they just said we weren't gonna see the Enterprise, we're gonna see Spock. None of that, and then by the time they start getting to the last half of those episodes, the later episodes, the fans are not happy, guys. You better do something quick. Apparently, the actual quote was "unfuck this mess," and so that's partially where the mirror universe stuff came from. Firstly, people love the mirror universe, yeah, do that, and then that's not the mirror universe. Why is the Earth reversed in the mirror? That's it's the mirror universe, not the mirrored universe. And the crowning glory as there comes. That's the end. And the way it's written too. They would not, it's the USS Enterprise as opposed to the HMS Enterprise or the, And then on the trailers are Captain Christopher Pike as opposed to Captain Reginald Pike or Captain Rosamund Pike. They don't know how to write dialogue to save their lives. They don't know how to write a plot line to save their lives. Well, the Old Earth is just a survey ship. No, I've been brewing with an idea. It's sort of not so much a period, but just a kind of a Star Trek sitcom thing, but mainly taking inspiration from like McHale's Navy and Hogan's Heroes type thing. A lot of McHale's Navy, but a little bit of Hogan's Heroes sneaked in there. Just think, just take what is essentially, because you got the Enterprise as the best ship of the fleet. Therefore, by logically, there should also be a worst ship of the fleet. And I've cooked up one that it really is a piece of junk, and carried out the, I've even got an idea to use the sets up in Georgia as they are, pretty much. And just change the dedication black and basically revealing the last of the original Constitution class ships, the one that we never heard of because it never entered service because of too many problems. And the poor ship was those, it never, it got used as a test bed for various things. And then years go by. It's a lot. It's a yard queen, as they call it. It never goes out. It's always got problems. It's being dragged out for target practice half the time, which has given the computer a serious complex of effort. This thing would have, one more attempt to do it on a multitronic computer like an M5, where they get someone else's engrams. And the thing is, the thing again flakes out. The best they can do is, keep it from getting control of anything beyond a certain coffee maker on deck 7. It's like, stay out of that room. Because things flake out, and there's coffee everywhere. Just seal out the room and never go in. Okay, is this Star Trek Online you're talking about? Because I haven't played Star Trek Online. I've tried there, and my characters are stuck in a locked room with no doors. I have no way to, I have no idea what's going on with it. I got Star Trek Timelines. Getting in on it. And they've tried foisting Burnham on me a few times. And, I kept Saru around for about 5. No, forget it. I did the show, but just turned him in for the points. How many that's over? 3, 4. Were you going somewhere?
Yeah, in a minute.
All right. But yeah, they're going to turn it. It's going to be a bigger travesty. I think what CBS is trying to do is they don't want to just outright cancel the Star Trek stuff they got in mind, even though they'd love to because it's a never-ending source of red ink as far as these guys are concerned. But I think they're trying to do it with a bit of class. No, I think not all of that. I got problems with the Kelvin there too. It's like, one, I don't like the single nacelle design stuff. It's like, no, that's never looked right to me. The concept is a bit off on how strips work. And plus, that design doesn't fit the period they show it in either. Because a number of ways, the ship is enormous. It's about the size of a Galaxy-class ship, for God's sake. It's supposed to be like 20 years before the Enterprise. So, no. And the warp engines don't fit anything. It's like you're going, it's not that far after Enterprise, and you're building up towards the original serial, the pilot era at least. And that's just a big, gigantic metal tube. Well, we haven't seen the inside of the Disco Prize yet. I mean, granted, it's a better design than the JJ Prize, but that still doesn't mean it's the Enterprise, in my book. So, where are you at?
Yeah, at least Disco USS Enterprise is better than JJ Apple.
Well, yeah, and like I said, we haven't seen the inside yet. I mean, I don't know if we will see the bridge.
And you just got another comment.
Yeah. And 1,000 years after Discovery. That should be fun. Actually, at least one more. I'm going to relook at the Excellent trailer again. I like the Ares class. There's still too many JJ touches for my blood, but it was better. That is one thing. If we were hoping that the Mega Millions jackpot would hold off until we could buy a ticket, but someone in South Carolina wanted it.
Back in a minute, guys.
We might still buy a ticket. Like, hey, a small jackpot's better than nothing. Well, that's well after 1,000 years they could get away with all the crap they're showing now and not violate a damn thing. Even the screwed up holo technology they got. But yeah, I never really liked the lollipop designs though, because it's like, no, that's not the way it works. It's all a bunch of Franz Joseph stuff that was kind of trying to fight back against that for about 30, 40 years. They're throwing stuff at the wall, see what sticks at this point. Because it's quite clear that Discovery is not being accepted by the fans at large. So that's why I think this whole thing, all these different shows being development all at the same time. It's like, okay, Discovery's not happening. You got one more year, find something else. That's why you got Picard. You got this cartoon going. They got a Starfleet Academy show. God help us. And these short trailers, I think this is the backdoor pilot. One guy alone on a ship. They probably, how about that? Let's get this one guy on a. We only got one cast member. We use the existing sets. It'll be cheap as hell. Yeah, I don't like that. For one thing, you're putting everything in one basket there. It's like, that one nacelle goes out, you're screwed. So, Discovery's not canon, though. That's the thing. It all goes back to the licensing agreement between CBS and Bad Robot with Paramount. And make no mistake, Bad Robot is involved. That's where the person's little secret hideaway production company, because what they're hiding away is Bad Robot. And that's why the stupid license is involved. Because otherwise, they could have made it perfectly canon. They could have shot up on those sets in Georgia and not violated a bloody thing. But because they're going through all this rigmarole and everything's got to be 25% different, that means there's a legal requirement. They're doing a license. That stupid non-compete clause, which they never should have agreed to in the first place, is in full effect. Yes and no. It's Star Trek 2016 CBS and Paramount split. Well, that was the groundwork for it, but they could have handled it better than they did. The big problem was Les Moonves doesn't like science fiction, doesn't understand science fiction, and just has no patience for what it takes to develop a show properly. Enterprise is finally getting there, and I think it's like it gave him 1 year to wrap up and get out. But if anybody else with Moonves there, I think we might have actually gone a couple more years, and we might have gotten at least the build up to the Romulan War. What's going on? There we go. Yeah, single ship with 20. That's why one of the reasons I don't like single nacelle ships, especially if it's going to be a scout or destroyer. Scouts and destroyers are generally the faster ships in the fleet. They zip around, do the damage, but they can't take the damage. As opposed to a battleship, which doesn't move very slow, but it's armored out the wazoo. It's got big engines that move that great big massive ship. But scouts and destroyers are supposed to be able to zip around and avoid getting hit. So one nacelle, they can't be faster. They certainly can't maintain speed. The Constellation class with the 4 nacelles, that makes sense for kind of a scout ship type thing. But I just think, and again, it's taken the assumption that all the power is generated in the nacelle. No, that's not right. The power is generated inside the ship at the warp point and channeled to the nacelle. The nacelles use power; they don't generate it. And I kind of, I don't. In part 1 of the video, I'm going to do my little tutorial on how the engines work in my mind, and where I differ from Doug Drexler, because he did on the Ticonderoga says, "Yep, this is the thing here," and that goes. No, they don't go. The angles go wrong for that. That also means you're right up against the deck with those cool cathedrals. They don't like that. And also, like I said, you got to take into account even the references that don't really match up, like in Doomsday Machine, where it looks like he's moving around with the ambulance engine somehow with that big thing. So you got to take that into account just to keep everyone and shut them the hell up. Yeah, Les is gone. Where that goes the main booster for Discovery. So now everyone else saying, give us a reason to keep this monstrosity. And again, that's why it's like, we should be doing some Star Trek because it's a big property for us, but this ain't working, so give us something else. And that's why you got 5 different shows in development. And I guess they like the animation thing enough. They got a 2-season commitment for it because animation, relatively speaking, is cheaper. You can draw 50 ships for the same price as it costs to draw one. So it's a matter of time, or anything. And I gotta think it's gonna be Flash animation probably. So not even good animation. Let's see. Paramount should be jumping at a merger because Paramount. Part of the deal with getting rid of Moonves is any merger talks held off for a year or so. A couple years. So we got that long to suffer through the nonsense. But 25 change. It depends on where. Well, yeah, 2020 will be when we finally get rid of this and hopefully get rid of that non-compete clause. Because depending on where the line is drawn, for when CBS can make their own Star Trek, free and clear of anything JJ or Paramount. If it's from the time of the first movie, then 2020 be it. If it's from the time of whatever the last project was, then we're talking 2024, 25, because of the after after Beyond. And if it includes Discovery, then we are royally screwed because it's not going to be in like 2028, 2029. So yeah, this merger cannot happen soon enough to get rid of that nonsense. That's something they, what the hell were they thinking when they agreed to that anyway? That people with death, that why do you think JJ thought he could tell CBS to stop marketing original series stuff? He thought that would get counted in the no compete clause. Thankfully, CBS told JJ to go screw himself. All right, what new Star Trek titles would make you excited? Anything but what they have now. Because what they got now is, dear God, we managed to hold off on a Starfleet Academy series for 30 years now, even when it was pitched by much more talented writers than what they got now. I mean, the ones they got now, it's like, oh my God, Gilmore Girls people. It's like, is this this kind of passive aggressive nonsense? Does CBS really hate Star Trek and they're just trying to kill it with some kind of dignity? No, it's the way they know it. We like it. We tried. We're trying stuff guaranteed to die on the vine. I'm hoping JJ is so happy over there at Lucasfilm doing Star Wars stuff that he'll forget all about Star Trek. If you think about it, the first two Star Trek movies he did were really just his sizzle reels for Star Wars. That's what he really wanted to do. Yeah, I can blow up planets too. I can do big ginormous ships. Star Trek Revolution. It depends on what the revolution implies. Yeah. I mean, revolution has to do with what we're trying to do. Yeah, I'm all for it. But if we're talking about showing a civil war inside the Star Trek universe, no. I think Shatner returned to Star Trek. I hope so. Things would have to change legally because apparently right now Paramount is holding, I guess, the legal right to the character of Captain Kirk, courtesy of the movies and so on. Because that's what his Shatner's answer was when he showed up on Discovery or whatever. He said, you have to talk to Paramount because they've got it. Well, this is bad. Idiot execs have been a problem in Hollywood for more years than I care to count. But there's the old legendary story about how Harlan Ellison and Gene Roddenberry were both at this. They were trying to figure out what to do for a first movie, and they'd worked up a storyline. It was very complicated. Went back to the Dawn of Man with a race of beings that came up with a kind of sister race with humans. Going back to there, and it was complicated and fall and all kinds of work, but it worked, and they pitched it to the guy at Paramount, and it all held it. And then this guy, well, I've been reading Eric von Daniken's Chariots of the Gods. That should be the first warning flag right there with those syllables. And so, the Aztec calendar, or the Mayan calendar, is it's exactly like ours. You should put some Mayans in there. And they start. We're talking there are no Mayans. Well, just stick them in anyway. At that point, it's just, I think Harlan had to be physically restrained from leaping across the desk at this idiot. So if I say that pitch went nowhere, then they went back, and by the time they came back in, they'd been replaced by some other nitwit from the corporation. I think this guy, he'd run a division making shoes at one point. They said, "Oh yeah, you run a studio." But these are the kind of idiots they have that are taking story pitches, and they haven't got a creative bone in their entire body or their entire family line. And these guys, they're making decisions over what kind of movies we made. And clearly, the trend is not it, because it's kind of every guy that comes in to run CBS now, it's like, I will give Moonves some credit. He actually had a background in the business. He was an actor for a bunch of years, and he actually ran studios getting up to that point. So he had some stuff in front of the camera too, and he knows what it's like to be given a crappy script. These other guys are all money people. They don't know they've so much as written a short story in high school. Well, Michael Dorn, yeah, he wants to do his Captain Wolf thing. Oh, I think he's forgetting how much trouble that makeup was in. And he sure as hell would not want to do one if the current mode of Klingons is where they're going to go. Even with the hair, it's still way overdone. Okay, there we go. Yeah, okay. I'll let it go. Just so you know, Jesse, apparently your chats are flagging the whatever algorithm is running this thing, and I have to review them first before posting them. I don't know if it was fracking they got flagged or assholes. So yeah, I don't know. But either way, I don't. But yeah, I don't think a Klingon show would fly just because the expense and the makeup would be a budget buster right there. Unless they're all going to become original series Klingons, just in which case then again people complain about the blackface. Especially with Megyn Kelly getting canned at NBC today. It was dumb on her part, but she didn't come out from malicious parts. She talked, like it's meant as a conscious, not because. So what is the I think to Megyn Kelly, there was an episode of All in the Family. I think actually she may be a little too young to remember this because this was way back. So I don't know if she remembers All in the Family, but there was an episode of All in the Family where Archie's Lodge, the Kings and Queens, right? They every year they had a thing of doing a tradition of a minstrel show. And this came around, and of course, Mike is absolutely outraged. How can you do a minstrel show in this day? And I mean, to a 1970s, this is probably a lot. I think I may have been the first time I'd heard of a minstrel show. I may have, heard of the concept, but this is the first time it's really been put on display for anyone who doesn't heard it. And they, sure enough, they're in the white tuxedo and the black face with the big white lips. And it's, it's like this is why the minstrel show looks like, guys. And this is why it's so patently offensive to anyone with half a brain. And the thing is, the idiots today will be so they would not even air that thing and miss the point that it's supposed. This is the point. We're trying to make your point for you idiots, but you're so so touchy about even mentioning the subject, you can't even address the subject. And this is that's the kind of mindset that is killing any kind of pop culture. It's not just Star Trek and Star Wars. Everything's so hypersensitive. And this is what happens with all these years of coddling people and giving them participation trophies, and never really let them let them fail. No, it is important for kids to learn about failure early on, so they know how to overcome it later in life. Because they get out in the world that suddenly doesn't owe them a damn thing. And they don't get handed the executive office, in the corner, right off the bat, and the $50,000 a year expense account, whatever. No, now they, what do you mean I got to work at McDonald's? Yes, that's what you do. Didn't they teach you in the school? No. Oh God. You wonder why the society's going down the tubes. Well, that's as far as I'm going into politics on this, but let's keep on track here. Well, yeah, Dorn, because he was a fan way back, he went into an audition, and he was very stern and snarly. It's like, people he'd known, also auditioning, known for years. Hey, Mike, how's it going? So when he went in, he had a serious attitude. He's like, yeah, there's our Klingon. And I imagine it was kind of quite an education in those episodes he did with John Colicos. Mostly the Sword of Kahless. And it's like, okay, this is the original Klingon. This is the guy who, at the time with the guy who set the mold for it. And Michael learned really a lot because he showed up first day on Star Trek. And I don't know if it was Fred Phillips or whoever was doing the makeup said, "What the hell is a Klingon?" Because they were given no real guidance for it, and they kind of cooked it up on their own. And said, "Well, they described it as kind of like Mongol hordes. Or they just worked on that. And it did, they don't notice swarthy. They did kind of a Fu Manchu type of thing going with the beard and the eyebrows and stuff. And that's where a lot of the old formula of the Klingons got. Okay, Nerdrotic has just gone live, so I'm going to go and end it here. And again, links down below, PayPal, Patreon, and all the others there. And I even added a link to the Thanks a Lot Alec t-shirts. That's getting into the action. Get some more of those out there. And we'll talk at you later, guys.